What's up, guys? Texans fan and rehab here, back with another recap of the Houston Texans week. Hey, man, it was an exciting week a couple weeks ago, man. We were doing our build up until the draft, and lo and behold, we were expecting the Texans to do some big things, and of course, they paid off for us real big when the draft came around. They had an outstanding draft, man. A plus for me, as far as I'm concerned, on the draft board, man. They did their thing, man. They came in and they basically just blew out the draft with taking number two, CJ Stroud, and then backdooring and making a phenomenal trade and backdooring and going number three and taking our boy Will Anderson Jr. Of course, those were the two dominant moves of the trade. But then, of course, I'm sorry, of the day. But then, of course, they made some additional draft picks and a lot of moving and shaking from Nick Caserio. Touch on a little bit of that. Some of the highlights that were important for the draft, as far as I saw it, was the fact that they took, a wiry, small, super fast jitterbug of a wide receiver in Tank Dell coming out of U of H. I think that was an important pickup for us because although we have been acquiring talent at the wide receiver position that's going to definitely be fast and long, we definitely have some guys that have been added to the roster that are going to be in the slot position. We definitely have an abundance of those guys. But to have Tank Dell, this is a guy that performed at the senior bowl and in the practices, couldn't be touched, couldn't be defended, couldn't be stopped. And so I think that's going to be important for our team as the makeup is producing moving forward. CJ Stroud has come out to say that, and Tank Dell as well, to say that they were kind of working together to try to see if they could pitch for Tank to be picked up by the Texans, and I think that was an important move for the Texans. On the other side of the ball, defensively, the Texans didn't spare a dime when they went after these guys on defense, man. Listen, it's obvious that the pass rush is going to be big on these guys. They got two significant pass rushers off the edge. Of course, Will Anderson Jr., but then they also picked up Dylan Horton from out of TCU. These guys are going to be integral for what we have coming forward for guys that's going to be attacking the ball, moving the field, attacking downfield on the quarterback, and coming after these guys and applying pressure, man. On top of that, they also went back to the Alabama connections, and they got in your boy Henry To'o. I'm not sure I say that right. Henry To'o, linebacker out of Alabama, guy that can basically cover the field. He's a middle linebacker on most formations. For what the Texans have him in store for, that's what I see him doing as well. I look at this team, man, and I say that the breakdown of what they have, they were very strategic to make sure that they went after guys that they needed for depth, but most importantly for quality. So we have guys that are on the defensive side that are going to be able to attack the ball, and as the coach says, swarm. So I look forward to I look forward to seeing what these guys are going to do on defense. Forgive me because I had a phone call coming through. But on offense, man, that's what the real highlight of the team is. What that's going to be for everybody, man. As far as fans, and that's where all the money is made. As far as we're concerned, we're looking at, of course, a brand new quarterback. We're looking at having Damian Pierce with Devin Singletary backing him up. And there's another guy that they picked up, man. I think, in my opinion, he's going to be a phenomenal guy to kind of stash away and see how he can develop and grow on the team. And that's going to be a guy by the name of X Valade. Now, his name is a little complicated to say, so I had to kind of look away to try to make sure I'm saying it right. It's Xavier or listen, I don't even want to mess it up, but we'll just go by X Valade, okay? So get used to hearing that name called, man. This guy's a guy from Arizona State. He performed well, man. You can see his highlights, man. If you just watch these guys and look at the highlight tape, man, it's a phenomenal package of highlights that he has. He can do it all. He can catch out of the backfield. He can run inside, run outside. I think that those are going to be significant, obviously. But he ran in a zone scheme out there in Arizona at Arizona State, and so I think that that's going to look good for what we have in store for him moving forward. You're gonna see a lot of highlight reel performances out of every guy on the offense. I think that's what's to be expected. Now, wide receiver, I just want to prepare everybody. I hear a lot of noise about Nico Collins, Robert Woods. Of course, that was a good acquisition for us in the offseason. Keep in mind that Robert Woods is a little bit older, and a lot of people really haven't seen Robert Woods perform the way that he used to perform, because the last that they recall of him is Tennessee. Tennessee didn't really utilize him the way that they should have, man. This is a guy that was a phenomenal slot type of receiver out there in LA when he was playing for the Rams, and He just didn't get the looks like he was supposed to, didn't get the touches like he was supposed to, because Tennessee's team is geared around running through Derrick Henry. So you're not going to see the same type of offense that he played in there, obviously. So what you're going to see, in my opinion, is you're going to see a lot of slot guys that are going to be competing for the same roles. Again, Tank Dell is going to be out there. You're going to have Robert Woods, in my opinion, running the slant routes and stuff coming out of the slot. You have Noah Brown. You have John Mechie, for example. John Mechie is a guy that can move around the field. But the real concern with John Mechie, obviously, is whether or not he's going to be healthy enough to recover and play. Now, we've seen guys that have had cancer diagnoses before. I remember, I think it was David Quessenberry, who was playing O-line. So it's a little different because he's got to be strong at the attack. He's got to be able to be off the ball and handle a 300-pound guy coming and pressing at him. So strength is going to be important for him. But when you have a guy like John Mechie, who's going to be, wiry and kind of trying to move quickly and everything like that, you really want his conditioning to be up to speed. However, hopefully it's been enough time for him to recover and kind of get that back. That's what we're really hoping for. I mean, time will tell. They're still early in the process. He's got a full clearance to, participate in practice, and he's been back on the practice field. He definitely has been showing some positive signs and some production as far as what they've been able to see health-wise for him. So we're hoping that moving forward that he's got enough time to kind of catch up to speed and be out there and really contest for his spot. If not, I'm sure that they have a designation they can assign him to, so he's not lingering out there. Maybe they can put him on the injured. I forget the designation off the top of my head right now, but the injured list, where you can come back after 6 weeks at the start of the season and whatnot, just as an emergency case if they have to. But for the most part, what you're gonna see in the lineup is you're gonna see a lot of Noah Brown, you're gonna see a lot of Nico Collins, and you're gonna see a lot of Robert Woods. Now, in that slot position, I think that Tank Dell is gonna definitely press Robert Woods, because if you see this guy play, man, like I said, he can't be touched. So I think that the punt return duties, the kickoff return duties, I think he's pretty much got that secured. I'm obviously a little early, but I think that he's going to have that under best case circumstances secured moving into the future. And, I'm excited about that, man, because, this guy's highlight reels are phenomenal. Being that he's in Houston most of the time, you can see a lot more of them. If you had access to see a lot more of them and you see him in person, man, it's just a show that he puts on every time he touches the ball. So, a lot of good things that are going to definitely be coming out of NRG Stadium over the next few weeks, until we can get some competition and see what they are against other teams, and what they might be able to, what might be their shortcomings, what might be their strengths, their weaknesses. Of course, the big thing for us at this point is what is the coaching staff going to do? What are they bringing to the table now? You've got your pieces, you've got your assets, you've got your things that you require to start cooking your meal with. Now, what kind of meal can you put together? What kind of presentation can you make it have? What type of smell is going to come out of that kitchen? You know what I'm saying? So NRG is going to be, again, a buzz with all kind of new details and information, because we don't have that insight. Now, Texans also made some undrafted free agent acquisitions. I think I touched on X-Validate. They went with a wide receiver, Jared Wayne, Ali Gay out of LSU, another defensive end. So again, they kind of have taken a balanced approach to the draft and free agency to make sure that they have covered all their bases. Of course, they have the guys that they had on the team already, that, a significant amount of players that were from previous drafts, and, guys that are going to be holdovers moving forward. And so with the roster that they've comprised of, they have a team. They have a solid team with talent. Now, how can you coach them up? How can you get these guys up to speed with the rest of the league? How can the coaches get up to speed with what they have competition-wise with the rest of the league? Are they going to be able to break down film and get ahead of the curve? Because it's going to be a learning curve. So, when I look at a lot of the boards and the talking spots where people are going to be assessing where the Texans are, predicting where the Texans are going to be at this year, you hear everything from 3 wins to 6 wins, but definitely you don't hear anything above 500. I think that there is a possibility for the team to be about a 500 team. As you know, coaching is one of those things where, the more film you have, the better coaches can kind of diagnose what you have on the field and on film, and they can figure out the ways to attack you and, change some things up and throw you off. So, a guy like D'Amico that may have not seen everything from a head coaching perspective, that he needs to see to maybe compete with a Bill Belichick or guys that have much better tenure, he's going to get challenged. And later in the season, you're going to see how that plays out. But the early part of the season, man, this is the opportunity for the Texans to really kind of show out and see what they can do, what they can put out there. Maybe they can have some different wrinkles that the rest of the league isn't prepared for. And I think after maybe about week 3 or 4, the league will start to catch up to them and start to figure out, okay, this is what their game plan is. This is what they find consistency in. This is what they feel comfortable in doing on a regular basis, and they'll start to kind of eat away at that. And at that point in time, you're really going to see the makeup of what this team is about. Of course, injuries are going to play a part at some point in time. Health is always going to be a concern, especially when it comes to a guy like John Mechie or stuff like that. You're going to have guys that's going to the roster will do its thing. It'll be fluid, of course. So still plenty of time to get ready for what the Texans are going to do. Of course, we have weeks and weeks and weeks of time. This is the part where it's kind of just like, I wish the Texans would just come on and have something else in between time. But plenty of videos out there, man. I'm going to be pumping out videos a little bit more consistently. I had to take a little bit of break for some health concerns. But I'm going to be pumping out more videos. I know that there's a lot of guys out there like 713 Houston Sports, man. He's been pumping out videos mad crazy since the draft's been going on. So shout out to him. Salute to you, brother. I'm a Texans fan at heart, man, so there's no hate, there's no competition on my end, man. I'm just trying to be welcome into the space, and of course, I've been welcomed into the space, man. So I appreciate you guys that have checked me out. I appreciate the support, man. Of course, hit me up in the comment section. I love to chop it up with you, man. I try to respond to every comment, man. If you would, share, like, subscribe. I'm here. Texans fan in rehab, man. I'm out.